What is the connection between the laws of thermodynamics, entropy, and the arrow of time? And is there any correspondence to the five states of consciousness of Shiva? This is something I want to explore with you. So, the connection between thermodynamics, entropy, and the arrow of time is rooted in the second law of thermodynamics, which states that the energy of a closed system leads to entropy over time. That the states of entropy of a closed system increase over time. Entropy, which is described as a measure of disorder or randomness, provides a way to distinguish the past from the future. As entropy increases, systems evolve toward equilibrium, which corresponds to a more disordered state. This increase in entropy defines the thermodynamic arrow of time, giving time its apparent direction. For example, processes such as ice melting or coffee cooling are irreversible because they involve an increase in entropy. Reversing them would require a decrease in entropy, which does not occur naturally in isolated or closed systems. This irreversibility aligns with our perception of time moving forward. The origin of this arrow is tied to the universe's initial conditions. The Big Bang started the universe in a highly ordered, low entropy state. So at the beginning of the universe, everything was in almost perfect order. Over time, as the universe expanded and evolved, entropy increased, driving processes like star formation, galaxy development, while also defining the forward arrow of time. So, in essence, most physical laws are time symmetric. That means unchanged whether time flows forward or backward. The second law of thermodynamics introduces asymmetry through entropy. This makes entropy a key factor in explaining why we experience time as moving in one direction. So, then what about evolution, particularly the evolution of biological forms and life, if everything is moving in the direction of entropy and disorder? So, how's that connected? Well, evolution is deeply connected to entropy and the arrow of time because it unfolds within the framework of increasing entropy as dictated by the second law of thermodynamics. While entropy generally leads to greater disorder in closed systems, evolution represents a process where local decreases in entropy occur within open systems, such as living organisms or ecosystems, due to energy inputs like sunlight. Okay, so living organisms and ecosystems are open systems. They have energy inputs like sunlight. This allows for the emergence of complexity, and over time, despite the overall trend of increasing entropy in the universe, there is evolution. The arrow of time provides the directionality necessary for evolution to occur. As time progresses, irreversible processes such as chemical reactions and energy flows drive the development of increasingly complex biological systems. For example, life evolved from simple molecules to highly organized structures like cells and multicellular organisms. This progression aligns with the thermodynamic arrow of time as it requires a continuous input of energy and dissipation of heat into the environment ensuring compliance with the second law. Interestingly, some researchers propose that evolution might also involve a second arrow of time, characterized by increasing functional information or complexity. This idea suggests that as systems evolve, they tend to select configurations that enhance stability and functionality, leading to greater order and purpose within open systems like ecosystems or planetary environments. In this way, evolution reflects not only the constraints imposed by entropy, but also the potential for localized increases in order within the broader context of time's irreversible flow. So then this leads to the next question. What is the ultimate fate of the universe? How will the universe end? So this is referred to as the heat death of the universe. It refers to a theoretical state in which the universe reaches maximum entropy, meaning all energy differences have equalized and no work can be performed. This scenario arises as the universe continues to expand and cool, with energy becoming increasingly dispersed. Over vast timescales, stars will burn out, galaxies will drift apart, and even black holes will evaporate through Hawking radiation. Eventually, the universe will reach thermodynamic equilibrium, where all matter and energy exist in a uniform, lowest energy state, close to absolute zero. Contrary to its name, heat death does not imply high temperatures. It signifies that no unstable energy remains to sustain processes like life or motion. The temperature of the universe will approach absolute zero as it expands indefinitely. Quantum fluctuations may still occur in this state, but they would not reverse the overall trend toward disorder. This ultimate fate is a direct consequence of the second law of thermodynamics, which dictates that entropy in a closed system always increases. As entropy approaches its maximum value, time itself becomes meaningless because no further changes or events can occur. Some theories suggest that quantum fluctuations in this state could potentially trigger new Big Bangs, leading to a cyclical model of universe creation. So, cyclical universe. So, what does this have to do with the 5 phases of Shiva, or the 5 states of consciousness of Shiva, which is pure consciousness? So, the Vedic model of consciousness, as expressed through the 5 phases of Shiva, are as follows. These are the 5 states of consciousness: creation, Shrishti, sustenance, sthiti, dissolution, samhara, incubation or concealment, tirobhava, and resurrection or grace, anugraha. These can be related to thermodynamics, entropy, and the arrow of time. These phases represent a cyclical and dynamic process that mirrors the evolution of the universe and consciousness. Creation aligns with the initial low entropy state of the universe, such as the Big Bang, where order emerges from pure consciousness or pure potentiality. Sustenance corresponds to the maintenance of systems within this framework, akin to how stars burn and life evolves by harnessing energy flows to create localized order while increasing entropy overall. Dissolution reflects entropy's inexorable rise, leading to the breakdown of structures, much like the eventual fate of stars or the universe heading toward heat death. Incubation or concealment, tirobhava, parallels entropy's role in veiling higher order patterns or truths within apparent disorder. In consciousness terms, this phase represents the obscuration of ultimate reality by material existence, much like how entropy drives complexity but conceals underlying simplicity. And finally, resurrection or grace, anugraha, aligns with liberation in Vedic thought, the transcendence of entropy and duality into a single state of unity or moksha. This phase echoes speculative ideas about quantum fluctuations, potentially sparking new cycles of creation after heat death. Thus, Shiva's 5 phases or 5 states of consciousness offer a lens through which to understand the interplay between entropy, time's arrow, and conscious evolution, or you might say consciousness evolution. They suggest that even within thermodynamics constraints, cycles of creation and dissolution are continuous, allowing for the transformation and transcendence, both allowing for both transformation and transcendence, cosmically and spiritually. So I hope this makes sense to you, because the scientific model is a model based on quantum physics, cosmology, but is still a physicalist model. Shiva's 5 phases or 5 states of consciousness is the underlying reality, and the scientific explanation is a modeling of it, because, as I've said many times before, the quantum field is a modeling of the consciousness field. And space-time, energy, information, matter are constructs, and even gravity are constructs for modes of knowing and experience in consciousness. But these modes of knowing and experience change as consciousness changes its phases or its expressions. So the activities of creation, sustenance, and dissolution in Shiva's phases reflect the stages of consciousness. I hope this makes sense to you. But even if it doesn't, I like to share it with you. So as you know, my current book is Digital Dharma: How AI Can Elevate Spiritual Intelligence and Personal Well-Being. And if you want to continue to engage with me, engage with my digital twin, deepakchopra.ai. And thank you for indulging me, as usual. I'm grateful.